You've got ideas, you've got ambition, you've got no time, or so you think. I'm Marissa Lonick, and I help busy moms with big dreams and no time. Join me each week as I dive into time management strategies, goal setting and achieving framework, and inspiring guests who are juggling mom life, work life, fill in the blank life. Dreams don't work unless you do, and just because you're a mom doesn't mean you can't still make it happen, whatever it means to you. Welcome to the Mama Work It podcast. Hello, mama friends. Welcome back to another amazing episode of the Mama Work It podcast. I'm your host, Marissa Lonick, working mom of 4 and founder of Mama Work It, where we support women in the juggle of work life, mom life, wife life, fill in the blank life. So I am super excited today to introduce you to our guest, Ashlee Livingstone. Ashlee is a personal growth and emotional well-being coach who uses breathwork to help her clients move from stressed to calm. She is on a mission to support busy high achievers in reaching their goals without sacrificing all their joy, time, energy, and freedom along the way, and helping them get the life they want right now. Ashlee is passionate about supporting her clients and their teams to clarify their highest priorities, create time capacity, and set boundaries with confidence so they can be more productive, avoid burnout, have time freedom, experience ease and joy in all aspects of their lives. Ashlee is also a working mama herself, raising an 11-year-old boy while growing her incredible business, Our Forte. Ashlee, thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, Marissa, thanks so much for having me. I'm so looking forward to this conversation.
Me too. All right. Well, first things first, I would love to just hear a little bit more about you, how your journey led you to where you are now.
Yeah, I'd have to dial back quite a few years before I had my son. I was, doing all the things I should be doing, working my corporate job and essentially pep talking myself every single day to get out of the car. And it kind of was not for me. I realized very quickly that I need to be around people and doing work that lights me up. And that was super scary because I'm not really sure I was raised in that type of environment. But I made the leap once I had my son to stay at home and create a business that allowed me to be at home, be a mom, and really feel empowered and in control of my time. And that's really kind of the first step of where I'm at now. And it's evolved, right? I've learned how to lean into my parenting journey, how to develop myself more and grow my business at the same time. And I think it's a constant evolution.
Absolutely. Yeah. I truly believe that every transition is a really good opportunity to sort of revisit what's working, what's not. And motherhood, the transition from not being a mom to becoming a mom is certainly one of those big ones for a lot of women. And so for you, that was a big career transition. And a lot of people, decide to make a career change during that time. What was the absolute catalyst? Because it sounds like you weren't actually happy doing that even before your son. So while motherhood certainly, I think, propelled you, what else was not working?
Yeah, I think it was just really the culture. And I believe in authentic, true relationships. I really am not a big believer in transactional relationships. Never been that super obedient person who does everything she's told to do when she's told to do it, much to my parents' frustration. But that's how it started to come in work too. It was do as I say, get it done right now. I was also young. My voice wasn't being heard. And so I quickly realized that wasn't an environment for me. I was never going to flourish. And the organization I worked for really catered. So it was a fundraising organization, and we dealt with a lot of donors. And I call that my Stepford wife phase. where I just had to literally, my boss would tell me to wear nylons and wear a skirt and hug the donors and make them happy. And I was essentially a robot. And everything inside of me was just saying, not this, not this, not this. So that helped too.
Yeah, I bet. And what business did you start? I know you said it's evolved over time, and we're going to talk
Totally.
about where you are now in that business, but what did it start with?
Yeah. So I actually started an event management business. I was doing fundraising events and client appreciation events, team building events. Again, super focused on how can I bring people together to create shared memories, shared experiences that is more than just serving chicken at dinner and, what the napkin colors look like. Every event I did was very focused on who's coming, how do we want them to feel, how do we want them to feel during the event, after the event, and how are we going to maintain our relationships with these people? So that's really where my focus on people and relationships got to really expand and create that impact for so many businesses to have healthy, long-lasting relationships with their donors or their clients and teams.
Yeah. Isn't it so funny when you think about even when you're planning like your kid's birthday party, right? Because not
Mm,
everybody listening is an event planner, but we all do
yeah,
some type of party planning in our mom lives. And we like sometimes we can get like obsessed with little things like the theme, the decor, the cake flavor, how, the balloon arch, all the things. And then what's really important is how does everyone feel walking away from that birthday party? Are you
yeah.
creating a core memory for your kid, for their friends? And we're obsessing about the wrong things.
Totally. And that's what I saw so much in my business. And I think that's what made me stand out in the business that I was in, because I wasn't your like quote unquote typical event planner. Anytime we had conversations around decor, my question back to people was, is this a good use of our money? Is this going to help us build better connections? If it is, absolutely, let's have this conversation. But my focus always was, how are people feeling when they show up? How are they feeling at the event? What kind of shared experiences are we moving people through? And what are you going to do with all of these people that you've just had FaceTime with after the event? So I was not ever really good at, what napkin colors pair well with, the balloon decorations, but it made me a specialist in relationships.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And you're still doing that in a different capacity, right? You're
Yeah.
doing this now through breath work.
Mm-hmm.
So we did an episode a while back. It's been a while, episode 37 to be exact. But for our listeners who haven't heard of breathwork or need a refresher on this, tell us what it is, how it's useful, especially for like the working moms in our audience.
Yeah. Okay. So breath work, I love to describe it as this beautiful blend of science and woo. It's There's so much rooted in the science. It can help you regulate your nervous system. It can help you manage your stress triggers, lower your blood pressure. It can help with so many of those physical symptoms, pain, insomnia, all of that. And then on the other side of it, the woo side of it, if you will, can help you really unlock your emotional well being, release pent up emotions. It can help you heal from trauma. And it can actually help you tap into that really inner knowing, that self trust that we all say we want. It can help you access your own voice so that instead of asking everyone else what you should do, you learn to trust yourself and answer your own question. So it really plays nicely together. I would say the way I use it is in transition moments. So I wake up first thing in the morning. I have my morning routine that's nice and quiet by myself, and I breathe. I breathe to set my intention for the day, to move any stale energy that's left over from my night. And that's how I start my day. When I have to go pick up my son from school and I've just had a long work day, sometimes I'll breathe before to like release my day and move into being present with my son, and vice versa. Sometimes I've dropped him off at school and it's been hectic, so that I can enter my work day feeling calm, collected, and really in control of how I'm showing up. So I know a lot of people, we do like driveway breathing. You get home from work, stay in your car just a couple extra minutes, breathe out your day, and that helps you be a little bit more present and calm with your family.
Yeah. Yeah. I love this because I'm all about that intentionality. And even though a lot of what I teach and what I coach on is time management, productivity, I think there is such a relationship between the wellness aspect of that with the output of what you're able to accomplish and do,
Yeah, I
right? Just like
totally
you
agree.
said, breath work is a combination of science and woo. I mean, I think that's really everything out there. Like, it's, you got to feel your best. You got to be in a really great emotional state, mental health
Mm-hmm.
state to be able to show up as the best version of yourself at home, at work, to be able to land the clients in business, to be able to get the promotion, to be able to, fill in the blank.
Yeah.
Because when you're not feeling well, when you're not in that state of mind, none of that falls into place.
No. I think, you said it pretty well about like the productivity side of things and needing that wellness. And a lot of what I start with my clients is helping them understand that when we are so stressed out, right? Our bodies are in survival mode. And
Mhm.
and it feels like there's a tightness around our center where every little thing, when people are like, I've hit my boiling point, or I've hit my red zone, or I've hit whatever they describe it as, that is us just stacking stress on top of stress on top of stress. When we are in that space, we cannot look at our calendar clearly. We cannot get one more birthday invite and think, how am I going to fit this into the schedule? We can't think about, where do I create capacity to prioritize my health and well-being? We just can't. We've hit our max. And that's when we often see too that, if there's this line of stressors, 10 is a really, really big deal. 10 is a bad day. 10s happen. I'm not saying they don't happen. But when you have a 10 reaction to something that's really a 2, that's a good indication that your stress management and that your system thinks everything is life or death. And
Mm,
not everything is life and death, but we react like it is, right? If we're constantly yelling and feeling upset or just so scattered and overwhelmed, we cannot make decisions in a healthy way. We can't plan out our schedule with ease and capacity because everything we put on our calendar feels like more overwhelm, right?
absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah. That's such a good analogy because when you are at that level, it's impossible to you feel like it's impossible to handle anything and
totally.
you physically almost can't.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Yeah.
that's why breath work is such a practical tool. You have access to it, right? Whether you have a guided facilitator or not, you have access to your breath every day, all day.
Hmm.
And you just need, honestly, to take a few deep breaths to help calm yourself down. If you are always at a 10, probably takes a little bit more work, some practice, regular practice to let your system know this is not a life or death situation. I can have a
Hmm.
2 reaction to the extra birthday invite or to the canceled client who rescheduled on my busiest day, right?
Yeah.
We can
Yeah.
have that ease and flow that so many of us are craving.
Yeah. Absolutely. So you brought up a good point. So I personally always practiced breath work via a guided source. But you said this is something you could do solo any or all the time, right? If you wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
So, in your opinion, is one more effective than the other? Do you have a preference? If you are doing it solo, are there any tips if you're new to this?
Yeah, absolutely. So I will say guided and live is better. It's like going to an in-person fitness class versus watching the video online,
Mm,
right? I think that's like a good comparison. When you're in somebody else's energy and you're in somebody else's space and they are creating an experience for you, pushing you gently when you need to be pushed, helping you hold back when, your system has had enough, that can't be replaced. But I also believe strongly in breathwork being a regular practice. So it is a bit of a catch-22. It's, how can you create even 5 minutes a day to breathe intentionally? And you can listen to audios. I still think some audios would be great to listen to for that guided piece, especially if you're new to breath work. Guided audios can be really, really supportive because you don't have to think about it, right? You don't have to think about like what breath pattern should I be doing and how long should I do it for. Audios can be really, really supportive. And let's just say that's not accessible to you either. 10 slow breaths in through your nose and out through your mouth at any given time can really shift you from super stressed about to maybe say the things you don't want to say to, all right, it's enough of a pause to hopefully help you collect your thoughts.
yeah. Yeah. Sometimes I take one deep breath and I'm like, okay, don't
Yeah.
say that thing. But 10 will definitely change my mind.
It's enough of a pause, right? Or if you're doing it in front of your children, sometimes my son will be like, Mom, I think you need to take some breaths. And I can do that in front of him because he's seen this, or he will do it with me. He'll be like, I think we need to just both take a breath and we can count it together. It's such good modeling for our kids as well.
Yes.
To just see us deregulating, like calming our system down. It is such an amazing tool and it's immediate.
Right. Because nobody out there is steady all the time.
No.
No, we all have our ups and downs. And it's such a good life skill for these kids to see of how we are handling those situations. And this is a
Mm-hmm.
really simple, effective one to be able to do.
Yeah. Yeah. It could be the difference between that impulsive decision, that, you know, that fight that doesn't have to happen, the saying yes, even to something that you don't want to say yes to because you're at your capacity.
Mm-hmm.
Learning how to take that intentional pause and make the decision that you truly want to make. That is such a powerful tool.
Yeah. I mean, it's essentially slowing you down in a world that's very fast paced.
Mm-hmm.
What would you say to the woman listening who is on that fast track, right? She's rushing to work, she's rushing home, she's rushing to get here, she's rushing to get dinner on the table. This can feel very much outside that person's comfort zone to pause and take these breaths or to slow down in this way. How can you make that happen, or what type of mindset do you need to be in? Like, what are some tips for that?
Yeah. So I definitely have tips, but I'll share this quote that I actually heard today. One of my clients and I were doing a session and we were talking about this. And it's a bit of a mindset reframe. So we often think like, have I worked enough or have I done enough to rest?
Mm,
Shifting that to, have I rested enough to show up as my best self or to do my best work?
wow.
That even in itself, as a busy working mom, as a, busy human being in this world, what a shift to just think, have I rested enough to show up as my best self?
Yeah.
And I bet you for most of us, we have not.
Mm-hmm.
We have not. So for that busy parent out there, you know, we've been so conditioned to think hard work gets you the most results. busy is a badge of honor and you got to keep going to prove your worth.
Yes.
And I am a testament, I know you are as well, of like, that's just not true. You have to work at replacing that story with a new one, a one that serves you better, that rest is important too, or having space on your calendar is really truly empowering, that you are just as valuable to your family, to your colleagues, to your boss, to your partner, to yourself, if you're not busy checking things off the to-do list.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Have you heard that? I hope I get this right. I think it's a Dale Carnegie quote where he said something like, the richest men aren't always working. Like they're not working all the time.
Yeah.
Right? Because especially if you're in business, if you're working in your business 24/7, how can you possibly work on your business and growing it and building it and
Mm-hmm.
scaling it? Same with other things. If you're constantly busy doing all the day-to-day operational elements of your life, how is there any space there for the higher power, the universe, whatever you believe in, to send you that $1,000,000 idea and help you get started? There is none.
Yeah.
There's no room for it. So it's so
Yeah.
essential. I agree.
And how, even just if you're constantly working, if you're constantly doing, how are you reaping the benefits of enjoying what you're creating? Right? As moms, we have our children and then all of a sudden we're doing for them all the time,
Mm-hmm.
and we're building resentment. I know many of us aren't going to totally admit that,
No, I agree.
but
I
we
agree.
are. Every time you're like, oh, like how many times do we complain about like, oh, I have to drive you to a practice. Oh, another weekend. Oh, this, oh, that. So many people I talk to now just describe, how are you? I'm busy.
Yes.
Oh, I'm driving.
Oh,
You
I
know how it
know.
is, driving the kids from one place to another, sneaking in work here and there. That we are creating that.
Totally.
You're not
Totally.
enjoying time with your kids. You're not enjoying, even family vacations. People post all these memes about so excited for family vacation. You're not even out of the driveway and there's like a full on family fight going on. I
Yeah.
need a vacation from my kids, or I need it. We're just not slowing ourselves down enough to just be with them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I love that you said that. Actually, the newsletter that I just sent today as we're recording this was all about a recent family trip. And I went into that trip with an awareness that I had not been being as intentional as I
Mm,
wanted to be with my family, like the past few weeks. And so I talked to my coach leading up to this trip. And I was like, that's what I need to focus on. I want to be fun. I want to be flowy. I want to get out of like my normal day to day, like house momager here type of vibe.
yeah.
And I just want to be like, have fully present fun. And I'm happy to say I did. Like I did it, but you have to set that intention. You have
Yeah.
to show up in that way because it
Yeah.
doesn't just happen.
Yeah. Well, we always want our kids to be grateful for the experiences we're giving them. How often are we showing up in gratitude for the time we're spending with them?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. And most of it's because we've done so much work to get there. And it's all becoming a box checking exercise. This is where that, my event management background of like, are we just doing decor to check the boxes of like, this is what an event should look like? Are we
Mm-hmm.
planning family vacations or running our household or starting our business as a box checking exercise, not fully being present and enjoying it? It's not all fun, but we can also just take the lessons from it. Like, oh man, that didn't work out so well when I packed for everyone. New lesson. Everyone's packing for themselves. Here's the
Mm-hmm.
master list. Check it off at your pace.
Right.
Right?
Right.
We make it so much harder on ourselves and then want to wear that badge of honor that unfortunately no one is giving us.
Right. And honestly, it doesn't even feel good to wear it, guys. Let's
No,
get real here.
it does not feel good.
It's
Burnout
not like
doesn't feel
rocking a hot
good.
new outfit where you feel your best. It's
No,
not.
No. And actually, to be honest, like nobody's really even noticing because
Exactly.
they're just as
Exactly.
busy as you are.
Yeah, totally. Oh, I
Yeah.
love this. Good conversation. Well, I know we could talk about this all day long, but we are going to move on now to our lightning round. We're going to ask
Hmm.
you some random, just for fun type questions, just so our listeners can get to know you on an even more personal level. Are you ready?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. What is your go-to get it done song?
Okay. Classified Inner Ninja. Super random.
I don't know
You
what
got to
that
Google it.
is.
Nope, you got to Google it. I
Okay.
hope it blows up. Inner Ninja. It's all about like changing the way you believe about yourself.
Okay. Yeah, I will look that up. All right. Very important question. Nail salon, hair salon, or spa? You can only pick one to visit for the rest of your life. Which one is it?
Hair salon.
You know, you do have fabulous hair.
I love my hair. I love my hair. It can be unmanageable at times. So hair salon all the way.
Yeah. So you need reinforcements. You
I
need help
need
with that.
reinforcements. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. What's your cocktail of choice?
Mm. Tequila and soda. Just
Okay.
straight up tequila and soda. It's delicious.
Going with a classic. Yes.
Yep.
What's something most people don't know about you?
I hate birds. Like I love nature, but I have a strong dislike for birds.
All birds, all
All
shapes and
birds,
sizes.
all shapes and sizes, especially the ones when you're on vacation and you're eating outside and they come and join you at your table. That is not for me.
Oh my gosh, that is really random and funny.
My nervous system does not react well when that happens.
That is so funny. Oh
Yeah,
my
I
gosh.
don't
So,
know
quick
why.
side note story here. When I was in transition of really kind of agonizing over the decision to leave my corporate job and step into my business full time, I asked for a spiritual sign of a red bird.
Amazing.
I'm glad you didn't ask for that sign, Ashlee.
Nope, definitely not. When I see the red-winged blackbirds around I'm like, okay, it's time for me to come inside.
That is so funny. Yeah, I saw that bird a lot over the course of a year.
Amazing.
All right. What book are you reading right now?
We Should All Be Millionaires.
Ooh, such a good one.
Yeah.
Such a good one. Yes.
Trying to harness my inner millionaire.
Yeah, Rachel Rogers.
Yeah.
We've talked about that book on this show before, and I highly recommend it. It's a good one.
Yeah, it's great.
All right. Well, before we officially wrap up, please tell our listeners where they can find you, get access to you, chat with you, all the things.
Yeah, I mean, I'm most active on Instagram. So you can find me at ashlee.livingstone. I share lots of great tips about breathing exercises or when to notice that you might be holding your breath and not fully relaxed. I also run a membership, Breathwork membership too, which is a great opportunity to get together and breathe with other people, guided live, and make it part of a regular practice. So you can check both of those out.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much, Ashlee, for being here,
Yeah,
for
thanks for
sharing all
having
this
me.
knowledge and wisdom. I know our listeners are going to get a ton of value out of our episode today.
Awesome. Thanks so much for having me.
You've been listening to the Mama Work It podcast. I hope you've enjoyed this episode and would love if you could take a quick minute to leave me a review on whichever platform you're listening from, and maybe even send a note to a fellow mama friend recommending it. Reviews and recs help this podcast grow and reach more like-minded, awesome moms. And if you haven't subscribed yet, don't forget to click that button so we can stay in touch, girl. By the way, if you haven't checked out the Mama Work It website, please do. There are lots of free resources and great articles there that can help you with the juggle of work life, mom life, wife life, fill in the blank life. So head on over. Thanks again for being part of the tribe. I'll see you soon, but in the meantime, keep on working it, mama.